What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, it's your homie, FuturisticMike. Welcome back to another Power Book 4 Force video. Now, this is going to be the review and recap for Power Book 4 Force, Season 1, Episode 8, titled He Ain't Heavy. If you're a fan of Power, hit the like on this video. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you're finding me, subscribe and turn on those post notifications so when I post videos on Power Book 4 Force, you get them. Man, this episode was solid. It was really good. We all know in the Power universe, episode 8 is always a big episode. I mean, things are just getting crazy. You know, people are finding things out, finding out secrets. People are dying. Just all kinds of things are happening. This Dahlia is taking over. We see that Tommy found out that, JP's son is D-Mac. Tommy found out the truth because he followed D-Mac. He wants to know who he's going to be in business with. And he found this out. We also see that Miriam, she died. She just randomly passed away after JP left the room. And we also see Gloria, she died as well. Now, I'm upset about that because I feel like Gloria could have played a bigger part in this series. She wasn't in it long enough, man. I thought she was going to be in every episode of this season and season 2. But I just had a feeling she was going to die, man. When the Serbs pulled up and started shooting at Vic and Gloria and stuff, I had a feeling she was going to die. And in any moment like that, when you think it's just too good to be true and it's a happy moment in the Power universe, you know something is about to happen, man. Nothing good ever happens in this show. So I knew it, man. The minute Vic and Gloria were in that car driving away, I knew something was about to happen. When the episode first starts, we see Tommy going to Mrs. Soto and he reveals himself. He shows her that he's the one that put them drugs there for her. And we see Mashi or Moshi or however you say his name. He wanted in on this shit too, man. He wanted to distribute Dahlia. And Tommy said it's going to be $55. And they weren't sure about that price. But Mrs. Soto had one of her guys try the product. And then they were definitely in, man. They all wanted it. They weren't sure because this new version of it didn't glow. But once Mrs. Soto's guy tried it, they're like, oh, hell yeah, let me get some of that. Now we see Walter at the docks and he learns that he has stage 1 lung cancer. And it's not getting any better, man. It'll just get worse. She said, you're not going to die today or tomorrow, but we need to figure out what to do. This happened to his wife, so he needs to figure out what to do quick. Now we see Tommy speaks to Liliana about bringing in another person to cook and stuff to help Lauren. And Liliana's like, who do you trust in Chicago to cook like that? And he's like, that's the $1 million question. So he decided to trust JP with the job. I'll get into that later. Now, Claudia is talking to Tommy about bringing in CBI for distribution on the south side, and Tommy's not sure about that. He's like, look, Diamond's my guy, but I don't want Jannard anywhere near this. He said the two brothers need to figure things out first before he even thinks about bringing them in. Now, we see Diamond giving Jannard a shave, and then he asked Jannard, like, look, what is your vision? What would you do if you were still running CBI? And Jannard said, look, I would focus on that new drug. That's where it's at. That's what I would do. But I think he was just telling Diamond, what he wanted to hear. Because Jannard said CBI started with you and it's going to end with you. He said, as long as I'm somewhere in the middle, then we good. But that's not really how Jannard feels. Now we see Tommy talking to Liliana and he tells her that he has a brother. And he said he might want him to start cooking in the lab with her and Lauren. And she said, look, it ain't gonna be hard to tell two white boys with blue eyes in the lab. And he said, haha, that's what you think. But Tommy said, look, the only person that's gonna know that he's my brother is you. Nobody else knows. You're the only person I told. And she was honored to hear that. Now we see this lieutenant confronts Detective Bennigan. And he says, look, I know you're on Flynn's payroll. And he just pretty much says that he wants half of his pay to keep his mouth shut. So if Bennigan doesn't give him half of his money, which is $100K, then he's going to talk. So he has to get $50K. Now we see Walter and Claudia have a little meet. And he confronts her about, what she's been doing, her dealings and stuff. And he says that he's going to find out exactly what she's been up to. And he's going to take her shit down. And she pretty much just told him off. Now we see Vic and Detective Bennigan meet up secretly, and he's asking about this new drug that's out on the streets. And Vic wants him to find the source, so his family can take control of this designer drug. And Bennigan said, look, that's gonna cost double. And Vic said, I'm already on it, and he had some cash waiting for him. Now we see your boy Blackston comes to Jannard and says that he couldn't find, who's been moving this Dahlia. And Jannard put out a 20K bounty on it, saying whoever finds out who's moving this Dahlia gets 20K. Now we see Walter talking to Vic, and he wants Vic to find out exactly what Claudia's been up to. And Vic said, when you gonna tell her that you're sick? And Walter says, I'm never gonna do that. That's never gonna happen. And then Vic talks about how Gloria's gonna be by his side. And, Walter said, as long as I'm alive, that's never gonna happen. So Walter's hating on Gloria pretty bad, like always. Now we see JP in the hospital. He's visiting his grandmother, Miriam, and he goes out and talks to the woman at the desk. He wants to know who was put on her emergency contact. And as he's out there, these doctors start running in the room and stuff. The machine's going off, and Miriam dies. They try to bring her back, but there's nothing they can do. And Tommy comes over to JP's and he's like, man, what happened? And, he said, look, I was in the room 1 minute and I went out and then she passed away. And JP wants Tommy to call their mother ASAP. And he says, look, I'm not going to do that. Now we see Lauren talking to Liliana, and Liliana is saying that she's been in this game for a minute and she was pretty much just letting Lauren know the risks. She was saying that she's been sliced up. She was showing her scar and stuff. She said she's been suffocated, beaten, burned, shot, and everything. She showed her gunshot wound, and Lauren's like, but you're still here. And Liliana says, look, luck has nothing to do with it. The minute you think luck is on your side, that's when you get got. Now we see Walter brings Tommy to the mansion for a sit down, and he wants Tommy to join the Flynn organization, and Tommy turned him down. He's like, nah, the minute we was at Dr. Parker's, that's when I knew I could never be in business with you. Tommy was not too happy about Walter turning down that CBI deal. And then Walter brings up Gloria saying she should have still been fucking you, saying that she's between him and Vic. And then Tommy says Walter's the real problem. He said Vic and Gloria are in love. He got mad and he walked away. Now we see Claudia visits Diamond at his barbershop. Of course, she's going behind Tommy's back, man. She's trying to talk business, get him involved with his Dahlia. She offered him 10% of everything, and Diamond knew that something was up. He knew this was a bad deal. It was a lower percentage, so he knew that she had partners and stuff. And he said, if you got partners and other people are involved, that means you're doing stuff behind their backs. And he pretty much told her to get out. But he did say, is it Dahlia? And she didn't answer him. Now, Walter's talking to Pierogi and saying that Vic isn't ready. He's always saying that, he brought up the idea of Claudia taking over. And then we hear Paulie talking about this new drug, saying that they need to act very soon because everyone knows that this drug is special and Walter doesn't want to do it. Now, Tommy makes a visit to Vic and he tells him to take Gloria and disappear ASAP. He's trying to set him up, gives him a car that can't be traced and everything. He told Vic that, Walter called him over and he wants Gloria gone. So that was good looking out on Tommy's part, though, for real. It really was. Now we see Adrian comes over, man. Diamond confronts her about what she's really up to, her true intentions. He found out that she was a reporter. He looked her up. You can look up anything about anybody. That's what he tells her. She confessed about everything, and she said she was originally meeting Elijah that night at the diner and not him. And she said her editor was the one that wanted him involved in the story, and she told him she was willing to walk away because she was getting close to him and she actually likes him. Now Tommy goes to see Claudia and gives her her cut of the cash, and she told him that she wanted, to get up out of the shadows. She wants to be involved. And he said, look, you run the clubs and I run the streets. That's how it goes. He said, we're going to be stacking so much cash, it's not even going to be funny. But she said something about how her father would try to take everything. And Tommy said, you deserve this shit. But if he's messing with what's yours, he's messing with what's mine. And nobody's messing with what's mine. Now we see Vic goes to see Gloria at her apartment, and she came back. She just needed some time to herself. Vic says that he wants to leave with her. He says, look, let's leave Chicago now for good and not come back. He sold that land that he bought, and he paid off all her debt. She's happy to see that he's changing and that he really wants to be with her. And she says, yes, I'll leave with you. And they say they're going to pack and they're going to leave. Now, D-Mac, he was kind of spying on Tommy, but Tommy noticed him right away. He said he has eyes in the back of his head. They start talking, And this kid is a whiz at math. Who would have knew, man? This dude is super smart. And, he started solving math problems that Tommy threw at him, like super hard ones and stuff. And Tommy said, look, I got a position for you. Now, Liliana meets JP, and she was impressed with him. His voice and everything. Seemed like Liliana was trying to holler at your boy JP. So I don't know where this is going to go. But, Tommy made it clear to JP that he would only be a cook and that's it. And he's like, I'm cool with that. He's just trying to make his own paper, man. He's broke out here and he's just trying to make bread. Now, Blackston and Marshall come and report back to Gennard, and they find out that Moishi's people were moving the Dahlia. They talking about some pilgrims on some stupid shit. And Gennard's like, oh, you mean the Jews? But Gennard gave them, $20K, $10K each for finding out this information. And Gennard says he knows what to do next. Now, Paulie goes to Vic's to tell him that Walter had a meeting with Tommy about bringing him on board. And Vic was disappointed. He's like, man, I knew I couldn't trust him, talking about Tommy. Now, we see Gennard's waiting for one of Moishi's men, and he jumps out and robs him, takes the Dahlia. He kills him to get it. Gennard is on some crazy shit, man. He was kind of acting like a fiend for the Dahlia, for real. Then we see Gennard went to go meet Cuz and Gary about the Dahlia. They weren't sure. They was like, nah, we can't even do that. But Gennard's like, man, try this. And his men try it, and then he tries it, and they're instantly high as hell. And he's like, man, we're in, for real, we're in. He's like, how much is this gonna cost me? And Gennard says nothing. He said, I just need you and your crew to come down to the Shy and wipe out any and everybody who gets in the way of this drug. Now we see Vic didn't take the car that Tommy left him. He took his, which was kind of stupid because, his car is traceable. He picked up Gloria and they left. They're having a good time in the car. And this was the moment I was talking about, man. Too good to be true. A car rammed into them, and then the driver gets out with the machine gun and starts shooting. You can see that Vic got shot because you've seen blood flying everywhere. And Vic pushed Gloria down, and then he stuck his gun out the front of the window and he starts shooting. But the guy who got out, he hopped in another car and they skirted off. He went to go check on Gloria, and her head was down. She wasn't getting up, and I guess she was shot in the face and killed. So rest in peace, Gloria, man. That's messed up. Now we see Tommy is following D-Mac. D-Mac is putting something in his little box, and then he dips out. And Tommy goes to the hiding spot and finds out that JP is his father. So D-Mac is his nephew. And he's like, damn, man. He had a shook look on his face. And then we see Tommy looking at old pictures and stuff and looked at Kate's phone number. Looked like he was about to call her, but he didn't. Kate gets a call from JP instead, telling her that it was her son. So yes, we finally got Kate back on the show. It finally showed her. I was wondering if she was going to make an appearance. But Kate didn't even know what to say, man. She just sat there. And that's the end of the episode. It was a really solid episode, man, for real. I really enjoyed it. What did you guys think of this one? Comment your thoughts down below. What are your theories, thoughts, predictions, and everything else? This episode has to get a 9 out of 10. It has to. But let me know your thoughts down below. Keep supporting your boy, and I'll be continuing to bring y'all Power Book 4 Force content in the future. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and smash the notification bell so you can never miss a video. If you guys want to donate to the channel, I got links below to the PayPal and Cash App accounts. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me get out of here, y'all. It's your boy, FuturisticMike, and I'll talk to you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.